welcome back everyone. We are now on our third video of our series regarding Java tutorial from beginner to pro. This is Anjo, your code and travel buddy, and I'm gonna show you now what does all of this means. Guys, if you are new in here, just hit that subscribe button and like button. Watch our very first two videos regarding the introduction and the installation of the Java program. Make sure to watch that first so that you can easily understand what we are going to talk about today. So for those of you guys who have been with me since my first video, thank you very much for still being with me until this third video. So in this video, we are going to try to understand what's going on with this stuff. So if you're new to Java development, you guys might don't care about these things or what's this or what are this at the bottom, and you might maybe just focus here on what's going on inside the method. Let's just remove this first. Okay, you might just be focusing on what's going on within the methods. You know, a lot of beginners do that, like focusing on what's in the middle, but my principle is we need to know why are we doing these things and how are they working. I'm not that fan of just giving you what to type and just teaching you what is the predetermined output. So before we start learning what are these things, I advise you to maybe pause the video and then try to start changing things in here or things in here and see what will be the output if you do those changes. Oops, I just lost my Project Explorer. This might happen to you guys, so I'll just show it to you how to get back that Project Explorer, okay? If ever you accidentally close something in your IDE window, what you need to do is go to this window tab in here, and then perspective, and let's go to reset perspective. And then reset perspective, and there you go. You see, that's a bit handy, right? So we're here on our Java first and then our main class. So it's here. This is our main class. So now I guess you know already how to protect yourself in case of failure, right? So let's get started. So the first thing you need to know is everything is always inside a class. And each class has a name. So we named our class main class. So inside of classes, we have what are known as methods. This main here is our method. Just like as our class is a name main class, our method also has a name. It is main. But instead of calling this name, let's get familiar with ourselves by calling it, using its technical term, identifier. So this class has an identifier, which is called main class, and this method has an identifier called main. And now for the best part, inside our methods, we are executing statements. So this is a statement, and look forward to it that throughout this series we are going to I'm going to show you different kinds of statements. You can see guys that it's like nesting only. We have a class, and then inside of a class we have our methods, and then inside our methods we have our statements. So another important thing that you need to know is this method is called a member. So it is a member of this class, main class. Always remember that all of the methods and statements within our class are called members. We can also add other members in our class. Like say for example string. String str is equal to... So don't worry guys if you are not yet familiar with all of this stuff. It's alright, don't worry, okay? Here we have created our new member. So now in this main class, I just realized that I called it main class. So it's main class. Now inside our main class, we already have two members. We have one method member, and this other member is called a property. And actually, we need to put public in here just to make sure that it is accessible. Aside from that, let's just also put some comments in here that this is our method. This one here at the bottom is our property. This one is our statement. I'll just put this at the top also, okay? Statement. Methods always do something. In this case, it's doing this statement. So it's printing hello my Lavinia to our console. So let's just run this first so that you can see. Okay, so it's printing hello my Lavinia to our console. And then our properties just store some values. In this case, we are going to store string in our str. To store a string, we just create a new string here, and then let's say hello world. So now let's make sure that it doesn't affect anything. Right. It's still printing our method. Remember I told you earlier that this is our system class. And to access the members of this system class, we need to put a dot on it. So the dot is like trying to access the members. And then we have accessed the members of this system class. We have accessed out. And this out also have a member called print line. So when you hover over them, you can read what are they doing. So this prints a string and then terminate the line. All you have to understand here is that all of it is nesting. So we have classes, and then these classes have their members. So these members can either be methods or properties. Let's go back here. Regarding this public modifiers, these red ones or these maroon ones that you can see here are called modifiers. So let's focus first on our public modifier here. First, let's try to make it private, just to show you what's going to happen. Then let's run, and then it will going to throw an error because all Java programs need a public method called main, because that's the starting point of each Java program. But just so you know, this public or these modifiers can be changed, and this determine who can access them, like what classes or what methods can access them. So right now we only have one class in here, but when we go further and develop our Java projects, you will find out that you'll need to create a lot of classes, and then these classes will need to interact with each other, and you can only control their access to each other by using these access modifiers. So let's go to our slide and see the difference of each. In Java programming, we have four most used public modifiers. So these are first, private. The private can only access, the access level of a private modifier is only within the class. You cannot access one method from another class if it is set as private. Next, we have default. And the access level of this default modifier is within the package. So remember earlier, we have this default package in here. As long as it's within that package, if you put something as default, it will be accessible on the different classes within this package as well. Also, we have protected. So the access level of this protected modifier is within the package and outside of the package, as long as it is through a child class. So in here, we are doing the parent-child relationship of the Java OOP. In Java, you can extend the properties of one class to another class by using a parent-child relationship. For example, extends application. So for example, it's like that. This main class is the child of this application class. If you put an access modifier called protected, that's what you're doing. And lastly, we have the public. The public modifier means it can be accessed anywhere. So it can be accessed either within the class, outside of the class, within the package, or even outside of the package. Also, you can see here that we also have here our curly braces, right? This curly brace is paired with this curly brace. Using the Eclipse IDE, you can see that once you point in a curly brace, it will put a box around the paired curly brace. This main class has this curly brace, so these curly braces are part of the main class. And this curly brace is part of this method. Whatever's inside the curly braces are part of the class. Whatever's inside this curly brace of this method is part of the method. And of course, just by convention, we indent everything inside of this, every member of it. Why? The reason is so that it's easier for us, or maybe for the developers, to read these codes. Because if you make it something like this and everything is not indented, then it's quite hard to read. So we put an indentation on everything that's membered. Like for example, for this class, this method and this property is indented. And then under the method, all of its statements are also indented. Of course, this is just our convention. But remember that this is not necessarily required in Java. So your Java program can still run without these tabs. Okay, so next, we also have here our static keyword. This static keyword is quite hard to explain without some background knowledge on object-oriented programming. Just so you guys know, in object-oriented programming, we basically create instances of classes. Right now, all you have to remember is that this static keyword means we don't need to create instances of this method to use this on another method or on another class since it's public. Say for example, I'm going to create another method in here. And then let's remove the static keyword. So we have public void, let's say, greet me. And then it should print hello to you. Since we didn't put any static keyword in here, if we want this method to be used under our main method, we need to create an instance of it. So var x equals new main class, then x dot, we are accessing the main class since main class is represented by x. So we are accessing the main class, and then dot, we are going to access the greet me method that we have created. Greet me. So when we run this, it will show hello my Lavinia and then hello to you. So the first one is this one, the first statement, and then this statement is this one. So we have created a variable for our main class and then accessed this method, and this method prints out hello to you. So you can see that this whole concept of this saying new and then new main class, this is just creating an object. So you are creating an object which represents your main class. So let's remove this all now, and then let's focus here on our main. But are you wondering, how is this main being called? Earlier, we have called greet me using this by creating a new object of the main class. So how does this main being called when the Java program first starts? So let's try to remove this main first. Main. For example, I renamed it as main, and then I'm going to run it. It will say error, the main method is not found. So please define a main method. Your Java program will always start from the main method. It needs a main method like that to start. Okay, in our next video, we are going to talk about these things in here. So these are called arguments. In our next video, we are going to talk about how we can use these arguments and how they can make our program more dynamic. So hopefully guys, after that video or maybe another 2 or 3 series of videos, you'll have a more solid understanding of the foundations regarding Java. I mean our Java content. So please let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Was this video like fast for you, or do you need some explanations on some other parts? If you're starting, just try to learn piece by piece, little by little. Just get your basics straight and then understand that these are the foundations of a Java program. So guys, please remember to subscribe and like this video, and see you guys on our next one.